In my daily quest to find things that piss me off, I need go no further than the road system of Cedar Rapids. But that has little resonance with most people, unless you live here. While I was on my bike ride, I was thinking about the Allegory of the Cave. This comes from Plato's Dialogues from the Republic, and it is a discussion between Socrates and another Greek philosopher. I don't remember who he was having the conversation with. And of course, these dialogues are really Plato expressing his thoughts and putting the words in the mouth of his old teacher, Socrates. It is incredibly doubtful, and I think it is widely understood that there is no record of anything that Socrates actually said. So, in Plato's Allegory of the Cave, you have a group of people who are chained to rocks. They're chained to the wall of a cave. And behind them is a fire. They can't see the fire, but what they can see is the light given off by the fire. And they can see the shadows created by people holding puppets in front of the fire. So you have somebody pulling the strings on a puppet dancing in front of the fire, and there's a shadow being cast on the wall of the cave. The people that are chained to the wall of the cave, or at least chained to the cave in some way, these people don't know anything other than the shadows that they see. For them, those shadows are reality. The people pulling the strings of the puppets, of course, they know that reality is so much more. They are creating the false reality that the prisoners are experiencing. And a lot of people like to use this as an analogy to describe the people pulling the strings and how they fool the rest of us. But I think there is a more powerful lesson to be learned about the Allegory of the Cave. You see, both the prisoners and the puppet masters are in the cave. Somebody had to put them both in the cave. That is to say, these are people that are trapped in a very small pocket of reality. And you have people, the puppet masters, that are trapped in this pocket of reality, and they are creating a false reality to control the people stuck with them in the cave. It is analogous to the statement that there are some people who will burn the world down in order to rule over the ashes. In this case, you have people that are imprisoning other people in a cave, and in order to control them, they too have to live in the cave with them and create the false reality, when both they and the prisoners could lead far richer lives if they left the cave. Whether that is something that Plato intended, I do not know. But the lesson I believe to be taken is that the puppet masters are often imprisoned by the very schemes they use to imprison others. So, where is that analogous to our modern life? Well, let's think about where we're at today. The United States is very prosperous. Yet, if you listen to a lot of people, we are on the cusp of some great calamity. And we are always on the cusp of some great calamity, according to a few people in our society. These people tend to either promulgate a left-wing or right-wing worldview. To put it in more simplistic terms, there are people that get their daily dose of Fox News and are convinced that everybody that's left of Barack Obama is an ardent communist just waiting to foment revolution and overthrow Western civilization. Conversely so, you can go to a park and see a person out walking in the woods wearing a mask. Both of these people are captive to fear. Fear that has been created to control them. In the case of Fox News, the fear is being created in order for a receptive audience to sit through the commercial break. Whenever Hannity cuts to commercial, that's what Fox News is all about. Selling product and using right-wing hysteria to keep you interested between commercial breaks. In the case of the masks, I'm not trying to say that masks are bad. I think that the idea of a mask is very sound. The idea being that if you're sick, put on a mask. And if you have a disease that is promulgating through our society and you don't know who is sick at any given time, if you have a lot of people concentrated into a closed space, put on a mask. These are smart things to do. And there's a lot of, how should I say this, overthought stupidity about why masks don't work or they create more problems than they solve. Conversely so, it is insane to go put a mask on and go walk outside where you have the entirety of nature into which to disperse diseased air. But a person that is captive to fear doesn't think rationally. They think irrationally. They have irrational fears that they're going to get sick and that the mask is going to protect them. Why else are you wearing a mask when going out to the woods? It's not to keep the woods from getting sick, right? You're doing it because you think it's going to protect you. That, to me, I think, is one of the great fallacies that has been promulgated in our COVID pandemic, is this idea that a mask is primarily a personal choice on whether or not you want to be protected. The truth of the matter is, the mask really does good when a sick person is wearing it. That's it. The mask keeps spittle and it keeps large droplets from flying everywhere out of somebody's mouth. It also disrupts the airflow out of somebody's face. Normally, when you talk, the air that you exhale in order to make sound moves outward from your face. When you wear a mask, it sort of clouds up around your head. The sound wave travels through the air, but the actual air that you're exhaling kind of lingers around your head. That is the benefit of a mask. It keeps diseased air more closely contained to a sick person. If you're a sick person, it doesn't make any difference whether you're wearing a mask or not. If you're out in the woods, there's nobody else around, or there's enough space that you're going to sneeze into oblivion and nobody's going to run across it. But a person who is afraid, a person who is terrified, will put that mask on because they think it's going to protect them, even if what they're doing is on its face totally absurd. These fears are used by some people to control other people. And this is the lesson I'm driving at. I've kind of been circumspect in what I've been trying to say, but let me express it very bluntly. In our society, there are people that will take us into the cave and create a false reality in order to control you. And these people exist on either side of the political spectrum. And what they want is they don't want to chain you to the cave. They want you to voluntarily chain yourself to the cave, and they want to create a false reality for you that you want to consume. In other words, they don't want to force you to believe something that you're not going to believe on your own. They want to present to you a version of reality that you want to accept, and they simply present that reality in increasingly augmented fashion, and you become accustomed to that reality to the point where you will willfully and gleefully chain yourself so that you can't see the fire, and moreover so that you can't see the path out of the cave. The people that want to put us into the cave want all of us to voluntarily go into the cave. They want all of us to voluntarily sit down and consume the false reality that they want to create. And the false reality is fear.